and it's just all BS. Like, Kevin, sit down, boo. Sit down. Go get some help and leave the sisters alone. Good morning, guys. So it is the day before Christmas Eve. I had to reconvene and finish recording this video today. It's crazy because I started recording this video this past weekend, and I even had my husband chime in, but it wasn't until after I started editing the video that I realized I definitely needed to sit down and to address some things that I didn't initially address in the initial reaction. So I don't even think I'm gonna post the initial reaction just because, I don't feel like I had the opportunity to really take the content in and give my true thoughts. So this video is going to be directed towards the women, honestly, who consume Kevin Samuels' content. It's going to be directed towards the woman who was in the video. If you guys hear any noise upstairs, the kids are on Christmas break. I guess first thing I'm going to back up. So if you haven't watched the video, you probably should go and watch the video just so you fully understand it. I'm speaking about the infamous Your Average at Best video by Kevin Samuels. And in this video, he basically tells this woman that she's gonna die alone if she doesn't get with a regular earning guy because she's not a 10. And, she's a six-figure business owner, and he basically tells her that, above average Black men don't marry average-looking females. And the consensus from most of the Black men in the comment section is that he was telling the truth, that he basically says what most men are thinking, but they just don't say it because they want to keep the peace. And, the consensus was that his delivery was horrible because of the way he cussed her out and discarded her at the end of the video, but it was pretty much spot on. And so, my perspective is that if you as a woman are looking to what the majority of men in our community are saying, then you're going to get what the majority of women in our community get. This video is mainly going to be directed towards the female perspective, just giving my perspective on the women who consume his content. It's also going to be directed towards the woman who called into the show, and any woman who may be finding themselves dating or engaged or in a relationship, just because I feel like there are a lot of golden nuggets in this video. First things first, I just want to put it out there up front. I don't agree with Kevin Samuels' perspective about the woman in the video basically dying alone if she doesn't decide to get with a regular earning man. I feel that if this woman does not get help, if she does not seek, help to understand why she would put herself in that situation with him, then whatever relationship she gets in, it'll probably be somewhat toxic, and you'll probably be settling because it's going to be really hard to attract the type of man that you want until you get into a place to where you don't allow men to objectify you. So yeah, I'm going to first address you. So first off, I'm surprised that you would put yourself in the situation with Kevin, just because I have watched a couple of his videos and I've heard enough of the way he addresses women, how he calls them out of their names, how he speaks to men, how he really leads with his bank account and what a person looks like and their image to, assign these so-called value systems to people. I would implore anyone who's dating or in a relationship to show your significant other the video and get their perspective, and that will tell you a lot about the person that you're dealing with. And this notion that because a lot of men think that way, that you just pretty much just have to accept the reality of things and just pretty much go with it and just, accept that, oh, life isn't fair for women, and, you're only chosen based on what you look like, and, you can change your outcome and the type of relationships you attract and what you should expect unless you're willing to, basically do what the Kardashians did and have all of the surgeries and do whatever in order to attract a man who is a certain type of way is ridiculous. And listen, I'm not anti-surgery, but having surgery to attract a man is, in my opinion, you're going to get that type of man. If you want to do all of that, then you should do it because you want to do it. This advice, honestly, I was really on the fence about doing this type of video because I am, creating a brand for women that, teaches women that they are queens. And I rebranded my channel name so that, it would be not only an affirmation to myself, but it would also hopefully inspire other women to see the queen in themselves. And, I teach women how to see the queen in themselves and to feel, to be empowered, to live your best life and to be your best self. And, over the years, whether it was teaching women how to grow their hair out or how to eat right, to be, fit and healthy, or, now how to embrace your grays and to be comfortable in the skin that you're in, and also to understand you attract who you are in life. If you're out there and you're wanting to grow your hair out or you're wanting to be fit, if you want to do those things for yourself, because again, in my opinion, you attract who you are. So if you're always doing something for the reaction of someone else, that is the type of person that you'll be with. Someone who is selfish, somebody who is just looking for what they can get from you. You want to do things for yourself because it makes you feel more confident, because it makes you feel better about yourself, not because of, wanting to attract some superficial person who is only there for what you look like. If you decide to be in a relationship with a man who is leading with his eyes and his pee, that is exactly what you'll have to put up with in a relationship. If you're with a man who feels that his money entitles him to better, he doesn't have to be better to be better. Like his money entitles him to a bigger piece of the pie. He has more to choose from. And so, you're easily discardable. He can replace you. That is the type of attitude, the disposition, the type of energy, the type of personality you're going to deal with in a relationship. And you will literally be building your home, your house, your life on top of a very unstable foundation. And any moment, a storm can come in and just swoosh all the hard work you've done away. It's like building a house on this very shallow foundation, and then, building and decorating this beautiful home and filling it full of beautiful things and memories. And you didn't check the foundation, which was hollow. It's shallow. It's just based on, things that are fleeting, that are depreciating. Your beauty is a depreciating asset. And a man who doesn't really care about your mind, he doesn't care about the type of person you are, he doesn't care about any of the other values you'd bring to a relationship other than really what you look like, is definitely a depreciating asset. Because you, in a relationship with this person, if they're only with you because of what you look like, when you get older, then what? When you no longer can hold this beautiful, youthful, vibrant, vivacious image together for him, then what do you have? You have a shallow, superficial relationship. Thinking that because a lot of men follow Kevin Samuels, because he gets a lot of views, because a lot of people share the perspective that means that it's true or correct, would mean that you believe a lot of people who follow Donald Trump are also correct. That you mean that any opinion that is popular is correct as well. I would implore you, if you want the top of the class type of man, then you don't accept the bottom class of men. Okay? So if you want to be low-hanging fruit, then you should get with a guy who agrees with Kevin Samuels. If you want to be the type of fruit that is laying on the ground that anyone can come and pick up because you have no standards, you're on the ground, it requires no effort other than for him to bend down onto the ground. All he has to do is literally bend over and pick you up. Doesn't need to require any energy, doesn't need to spend any money, doesn't need to needs to put very little effort to do anything to come and pick you up, to come scoop you up, because you're just sitting there amongst the crowd of other apples on the ground, just waiting, ready to be plucked and picked. Let me tell you about men like Kevin Samuels. Men like Kevin Samuels make their popularity. They become popular, and they create these personas, and they use the lack of confidence from other people as a way to feel better about themselves. You know, they prey, literally, you can hear him grooming these young girls, calling into his station. You know, they prey on a person's insecurities, a man's insecurities. I've probably listened to 4 or 5 of his videos, and there was a video about a man who, he was calling the man fat and talking about the guy's genitals and asking, you know, what size it was, and if you're fat and you don't have a lot of money and your genitals aren't big, what do you expect to get from a woman? Like, that is a low-hanging fruit kind of man. Like, that type of man is like, whatever's on the ground, I'm willing to, you know, I'm going to pick that up. And if he is the type of man who's willing to go and get the woman who is high off of, you know, high up in the air, all he's trying to do is just an ego thing for him. He's like, yeah, I'm going to pick the high-hanging fruit to just be able to say I had it. I'm going to pick it, pluck it off the tree, and throw it right on the ground. Like, there are also men who do that. The type of man that Kevin Samuels is, a woman like myself, a high-value woman, a woman who has high standards, we at this stage in life wouldn't be with a man like that. The type of person I was at one part of my life, where, you know, I had not come into my feminine energy. I did not realize truly the queen and the gift that I am to the world, the gift that I am to a partner that truly loves and values me, would have accepted a person like that, surface level. I don't think I ever would have accepted a person like him had I watched his videos. But who he projected to the world, who he has portrayed to the world up until now, I probably would have, because, you know, he was an attractive man who dressed nice, and he was, you know, a professional individual. It seems like he had all of these quote unquote, you know, things on the list. I probably would have entertained someone like that. But at this stage in my life, I definitely wouldn't, because I realized that once you get into a relationship, once you get deep into a relationship with someone, and we're talking about years, you know, you spend decades with a person, meaning you're going to have seasons that change. You're going to change and evolve. You're going to be spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on this person, with this person, because of this person over the years. You're going to be making substantial investments. Why in the world would you give that away to someone who isn't worth a dang? Why? Why would you give that away to someone who speaks to you aggressively, who speaks to you harshly with a harsh tongue, who speaks to you like you are expendable, like you are replaceable? And there are going to be a lot of men, ladies, a lot, and probably most are going to be, they're going to say that he is correct. That's just the truth of the matter. That's what it is. But let me ask you, if Kevin Samuels is a high value man, then what is Barack Obama? Like, what is Russell Wilson? Like, what are those type of men? So, you know, a man who actually has a successful marriage, that leads the country, that doesn't have any publicized affairs, a man who has never, ever publicly ever spoken negatively about a woman. What are those? A man who marries a baby's mother with a very sketchy father, a man who helps buy his wife her master's so she's financially set, whether that marriage ever worked out or not. What is that? What are those types of men? Beta men, simps? What are those types of men? Like, it's so funny how a lot of these men feel like they are high value men because they make 6 figures a year. There is literally $25,000 difference between a $75,000 a year man and a $100,000 a year man. And you don't think a man who speaks to you gently, kindly, without aggression, without disdain, without contempt, that's not worth 25, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 a year? This man has a lot of y'all women psychologically and mentally jacked up. Like, he has you wrapped around his finger mentally because he resonates with your childhood pain. He resonates with the damaged parts of you that is so open to being degraded by a man because of your history, because of what you saw growing up, because of all the relationships you've seen around you. And a lot of you feel like, because I haven't found it yet, it must be true. Because if there's a lot of men who agree with it, it must be true. No, it's true because you believe it's true. If you believe that you are worth more, you will get more. If you believe that money is the most important thing, then you will settle for a person where their money is the most important thing. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get someone who believes their money is the most important thing, and you will come behind their money. You will come behind whatever it is that he deems more valuable. But if you get with a person whose integrity is higher on the list, if you get with a person who feels that a woman's value is not only in what she looks like and, you know, how feminine she is to complement his masculine energy, but the beauty of a woman, what makes us a woman, what makes us loving and caring and compassionate, what makes us feminine, what makes us the yin to his yang. If you get with a man who thinks that because he has degrees and because he can dress nice in a suit, or he smells good, so-called looks good, which again is subjective, because like a lot of women like muscular guys. We don't like thin dudes. A lot of women like men with a little meat on the bones. A lot of women like tall men. Women like funny guys. Like, we like gentle giants. But a gentleman is not someone, you know, because this person classifies himself as a gentleman, you know, because he dresses in suits. You know, he dresses so-called the part. So the image is everything because it projects a certain image. The image is a facade. It's a mask. It is a costume. It's honestly a costume, you know. And I'm not saying this to try and degrade Kevin Samuels, because honestly, he battles with that every day in his own head. That is the reason why he constantly is posting videos every single day, because he needs that adulation. He needs that attention. He needs to feel a certain way. He needs that attention in order to keep up the facade in his own head that he's high value. You know, Kevin Samuels can never, ever be with a high value woman, because a high value woman is a woman who truly knows that her worth is not wrapped up in her degrees. It's not wrapped up in her dress size. It's not wrapped up in how you look, how long your hair is, and how beat your face is. That is not what makes you valuable. What makes you valuable is your integrity. Your integrity. The solid core principles about a person. That is what makes a person valuable. You know, a house, if you just correlate it to a home's integrity is what makes it solid. Its foundation is what makes it solid. Anyone can come in and renovate a home. Anyone can come in and renovate a house. A house can be changed so many different ways. You can change the wall colors, the photos on the wall. You can change the people in the home. But what is going to make this home solid is the foundation that it sits on. And if a person's foundation is rooted in anger, hostility, abuse, psychological and mental issues, if a person's integrity is based on superficial things like money, what happens when you lose those things? So you get a so-called high value man and he loses that money because the stock market crashes, or because he loses his income, he loses his job, or then you got with a superficial woman who based all of her value on looking good, then what do? Because she, again, remember, her money didn't mean anything to you. So she's looking at you like, okay, all right, you lost your job. What you want me to do? Like, remember, like, my money doesn't mean anything. So, because remember, we use your money. Like, we use my looks, which mean nothing when you lose those things. They mean nothing. You know, so you ladies out here keep letting these men tell you that you're not valuable because you don't look like, you know, Tyra Banks, because you don't look like Naomi Campbell, because you don't look like a supermodel. You let these men, like, if I'm not mistaken, I heard someone on in a certain video say he classified Beyonce as an 8. So Beyonce is an 8, but he's a high value man. So what is Russell Wilson? Like, what is his number? Like, what is his number? Like, what is Barack Obama's number? Like, what are their numbers? I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous to really think that a person who clearly is very narcissistic. I mean, like, if you ever want to know what a narcissist is, go to Kevin Samuel's channel. And this isn't to throw terms out loosely. And no, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a psychoanalyst, but you don't need to be a doctor in order to diagnose a person as pregnant. You don't need to be a doctor to diagnose a person as clearly having a personality disorder when they base their entire living or life on, you know, and popularity on degrading people, women, and especially people in your own culture. It's like we have enough of that outside of our community. And I'm gonna also let you guys know, you know, people, especially toxic people, they make an art of being able to muddle truth with toxic information. So you're going to resonate with some truths. There's going to be some information in there that makes you feel like, oh, well, he may be right about that. But the truth is, once again, you can relate to that and you hear it and resonate with it being truth because of the broken parts of you. Because a really healthy person who really has real self-worth is not going to think that a person who tears people down has any business giving anybody relationship advice. A person who can't even display or hasn't displayed that they have the ability to be in a long-term healthy relationship, how can they give you advice? How? So a man thinketh, so is he. And out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And whether you're a Christian or not, whether you believe in old proverbs or you believe in new age philosophy, whether you believe in, you know, you can speak life and death with the power of the tongue, whether you believe that words are energy and are affirmations, you know, you don't have to be a Christian to resonate with those scriptures to understand that the things that you speak are a manifestation of the things that you think. And when men talk, when they say things out loud, it tells you who they are. So show that video to a person that you're dating or you're in a relationship with. Hell, show it to your husband, because it will give you true and clear insight into who the person you're dealing with is. And who the person that you're with is a reflection of who you are. It is a reflection of what you accept. It is a reflection of what you tolerate. It is a reflection of what you held as your value system as being the most important thing on your list. Trust me, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable to be in a so-called high value relationship with a man who thinks you're expendable. You know, you can be replaced, no issues. You know, they can just go out and get another you because they're at the top of the food chain. How is that valuable at all? It's not. It's not valuable at all. It has no value at all. It is literally the hollow, shallow, weak foundation if you build your house, your life around a man who thinks like that. So hopefully this is a Christmas present to anyone out there who may be considering dating in 2021 or is not sure, they're on the fence about the person that you're with, like, that video honestly is a gift. It is a gift to our community. It is a gift to you as a woman. So if you are a Black woman out here and you're feeling hopeless and you're feeling like despair, like there are no good men out there, and that, oh, all of the men think like that, sis, no, all of the men out there don't think like that. You know, really good men, honestly, they're not online watching Kevin Samuels videos. They're not online trolling and making comments behind their fake profiles. They're not creating usernames, you know, like the Captain 7025, and posting behind a fake avatar about how they feel in life. They're not a part of the thousands of likes behind comments, you know, that are under his videos that say, oh, this is how we all think, bro. We just don't say anything to keep a peace. Those are the men in relationships who hide behind their true feelings because they know if they spoke up that a woman would see who they really are and they would leave. I would implore you to show that video to a man that you're in a relationship with, and it will truly reveal who you're dealing with. And then at that point, you don't need to worry about that person. You need to worry about you. You need to ask yourself why you have valued certain qualities about that person over others. Like, what is it about you that's allowing you to value things that are superficial, things that are allowing you to build weak foundations? Like, what is it about you that is saying that so-called money is more important than a man and the way he treats you, the way he thinks about women? You know, like, they're really, in my opinion, this man really just does not like women. He doesn't. And that may not be his fault. You know, maybe he had a really crappy childhood, but he's oozing someone who, you know, needs psychological help. And he has a lot of followers who, you know, are entertained by his, you know, denigration of a woman's self-esteem and a woman's worth. And that's sick. It's disgusting. It really is. It's disheartening, but it's not for you to worry about as a woman, unless you are going to be a woman who has very, very low standards. Honestly, it's better to be alone than to be in a relationship with a man who thinks like that. It just is. You know, it's better to be alone than to be in a relationship with someone who thinks that they have the right to rate other people and give other people advice about their life based on superficial qualities. And you as a woman, if you feel like you should be rated by a man to put you in your place, to tell you what you should desire, you should probably seek help, just like Kevin Samuels says. So again, there's some things, it's like the truth is muddled in with some things in there that are highly toxic. But, you know, if I agreed with anything that Kevin Samuels said, it would definitely be that, you know, the caller definitely needs some counseling. You as a woman, if you're subscribed to this man, you need counseling. If you like his videos and you don't find a problem with anything he says, you need counseling. Sis, if you're making videos agreeing with Kevin Samuels, you need counseling. You know, and I'm not saying this to put anyone down. I'm truly saying this so that you can live the best life you can, you know, because I believe we're all born as a queen. I think we fall from greatness based on all of the things that we have to deal with in our lives. But if you want to get back to that, if you want to get back to a place where you feel like royalty, like you feel like you deserve the best because you put your best foot forward and you treat people with the same, then if you're willing to bring certain things to the table, then you should be able to receive those things in return. Let's just go with it and say that these are high value men. Like, let them go. Let them go. Let him go and get a woman who looks at him and feels like, oh, he's successful and he has a nice car and he has nice this, he has a nice house, he has that. let him. It never works out the way they think it is. It never works out the way she thinks that it is. It doesn't. It never works out. It doesn't. What happens is she realizes that, oh, well, he has a nice house and he has a nice car and he has, like, well, so he spends a lot of his money on his bills and his things. And just because he has money doesn't mean he's going to spend it on you. And on top of that, now you as a woman who you've led with those things, you've led, oh, these shiny things that you so-called need, like that's what he owns. Do you own it? Is he trying to put your name on the deed? Is his name the only person on the deed? Did he acquire those things by himself? It doesn't matter if he lives in a nice house. Is he coming to you saying, let's go build and buy this home together? Is he trying to put your name on bank accounts? Is he trying to make sure, you are financially okay, that your legacy is good? Is he a high value man like a Russell Wilson who's trying to help you buy your master's? Is he investing in you, or is he leading with his pseudo bank account, his pseudo persona, his pseudo identity of himself? Because ultimately he doesn't have really high self-esteem, because if he did, he wouldn't be leading with those superficial things. He would be leading with the things that are lacking in most situations, which is emotional stability, integrity, emotional maturity. The things that are really going to matter when the dust settles. So I hope you found this video fruitful and helpful, and that this was food for your soul. I know it's a little deeper than the Christmas, whimsical videos that I have been posting, but I feel like this is a Christmas gift to any woman out there who is not sure about what direction she wants to go when it comes to dating, what she's currently feeling about herself. My hope is that this channel will help to inspire you to recognize the queen inside of you. We're all queens. We are all queens. And if you don't feel that way about yourself, no one else will. People will treat you how you let them treat you. If you put yourselves in relationships, if you put yourselves in front of people like Kevin Samuels, then that's how they're going to treat you. I said a lot. That's a lot for you to digest, but hopefully maybe you'll play this video while you're with your family during the Christmas holiday, while you're sitting around and baking cookies, or, making Christmas dinner, or maybe while you're wrapping gifts. You'll put this video on play, because I know it is quite a long one, but you will understand this comes from a place of love, and this is to inspire you to be the queen in you. It's in there. She's in there. And if it directed you to this video, then there is a synchronicity that is occurring and you are on the right track. Just keep following it through. Keep following it through. So I'm thinking of creating a series on my channel regarding to, queen energy, or to the queen's perspective. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to brand it, or how I'm going to name this series just yet, but I'm here to help empower you to be a better you. And being a better you does not start on the outside. It starts on the inside. As long as you're entertaining relationships that, are like the majority of men who think like Kevin Samuels, that's what you're going to be with, right? I mean, it's common sense. Like this information sounds like basic and common sense, but it's just not. Like, truly ask yourself, once you let all of these people watch that video and you hear their perspective, do you really want to be with a person like that because they make good money? Because they quote unquote smell good, look good, and have these qualities that don't mean jack crap. If you guys, go through some things in life, if you have a disagreement, like how that person talks to you when you guys argue, or how that person speaks to you when you guys are not on the same page, or how you guys handle money, or you know, a high value man, right? You know, he's going to pretty much dictate and tell you what it is, right? Because you want to be with a high value man who makes a certain type of money, and it's just all BS. Like, Kevin, sit down, boo. Sit down. Go get some help and leave the sisters alone. Sis, get off his page, get off his channel, and you should go get some therapy and some help. This person is clearly emotionally not well. He's not. A person who makes constant YouTube videos about Black women. How do they have the right to speak for us? Like, no one has the right to tell you what you're worth other than you. You tell yourself what you're worth by what you accept. You teach men how to treat you by what you accept. If you accept it, that's exactly what he's going to give you. And if you don't accept it and he replaces you with someone else, good riddance. Why would you want to build a long-term, lifelong commitment with someone who at any moment can just easily go and replace you? And truthfully, that's now her problem. Now you're free to basically be open to God, the universe, bringing someone into your life that truly values you and isn't going to be in and out based on the wind blowing. You know, men like Kevin Samuels believe in 3, 4, 5 marriages, as many as possible, because he's pretty much, I've literally heard him say in one of his videos he has his next prenup ready to go. You know, because that will probably end eventually. And whatever he's putting out into a relationship, he's planning on getting it twice over back from the relationship anyway. A user, an abuser. Like, how is that acceptable? And there are literally women out here on YouTube making videos telling this man that he's not wrong, because women have issues in our community. We need to get our things together. Women have issues, men have issues, and I will address that in another video. But I think we all know there are plenty of videos out there that are telling Black women what we are and what we are not. You know, but how many videos are out there telling us how great we are? And the truth is, in my opinion, it's just not, there aren't a lot of Black men doing it, because real good Black men that are living it, they're living it. They're living their lives being great men to their wives and to their families, and they're not online. They're not online. They're not online, you know, telling women that they need to do this and do that and lower expectations. Like, that's what a man does who has very little options. A man who has very little options sits around and tells a woman how she needs to lower her standards so that he can fit in. Get in where you fit in. Oh, no, excuse me. That would mean if you're making a video to tell women that their standards are too high, it's probably because you found yourself trying to date and it's been very hard for you because she wasn't having it. What happens is a Black woman she will have a kid young. She will find herself making mistakes in a relationship with a man. She didn't learn from wise counsel because there wasn't wise counsel there, because she was being raised by a single woman. And so she has a child. And so then she increases her standards because she realizes, like, oh, I don't like this single mother thing. So she increases her standards so that she doesn't find herself in that situation again. And then she goes out and get educated because she needs to be able to financially take care of that child. And so then it really thins out the pool of bachelors that she will entertain. And then you have men that feel like, oh, you shouldn't have high standards, you have baggage. So he's mad because she's increased her standards, not because she's less valuable, because she is valuable. She won't entertain him because now her standards are higher. They have to be, because now there are other people that are affected by that relationship. And so he's resentful because he feels like, oh, I should be able to treat you less than, because you're not perfect. You don't come with the so-called things on my list that I would want a woman to have. So your standards should be lower, not higher. So he gets mad. He gets resentful because now he can't get none, because a woman has had a child by a man that didn't stick around and take the kid. And so she's not having that. So he's mad and he's resentful and he's sitting in alone or on Tinder, just sending out hundreds of messages. Like there are literally men, a lot of these men on these videos, like literally, they are just shooting their shot. They're going to try and talk to as many women as they can, because the more times they cast that net in the sea, the more likely they are to gobble up a little lonely, helpless fish who is just tired of raising them kids by themselves, and they just want someone to tell them they're beautiful. A man very close to me told me, men can sense women out like sharks, like blood in the water. Like they can tell when you're vulnerable, when you're helpless, when you don't feel so highly of yourselves. And they literally attach onto that. Like they're hoping and praying that you don't have high standards. There's probably going to be a lot of people saying, well, most women this and most men do that. And the truth is, yes, like most women are going to be attracted to a man because of maybe how tall he is, how handsome he is, like his degrees, his jobs, like how he dresses, the way he looks, his house, his car. Like allow most of those women to go be with most of the men that think exactly the way that Kevin Samuels thinks, because that's the problem. You know, like you want to get to a place where you break that narrative, like you break that cycle. That is the problem. People fall in love with these superficial things. They are not falling in love with integrity. You can build a beautiful home with anyone. You can buy a beautiful car with anyone. You can dress anybody up in a nice suit. You can do any of those very superficial things with anyone. You know, I don't think you can put drive in a man. I think, you know, that to me is a core that is a core value that you want to have in a partner that you're seeking out. But, you know, you cannot make a man who's aggressive. You can't make him gentle. You can't make a man who is, you know, disrespectful to you respectful. You can't make a man who blows up and just doesn't know how to control himself, or a person who stonewalls you, or a person who speaks negatively to you, about you, to other people. You cannot change those type of qualities in a person. You know, you can't. Like, those are the things that you should be thinking about when you are looking for a partner. And, you know, if not, then you're going to get exactly what you decide is more important. You're going to get somebody who, you know, matches whatever it is that you decide is the most important value in your life. So I'm speaking from experience, so heed the warning, ladies. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you guys leave a comment below. You guys all have a Merry Christmas. I'll be back soon with another video, and I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you guys will make your way over to Instagram and follow me at Queen Cormie, and also Queens Wear Robes, and check out my website. The website is coming soon, so go ahead and subscribe so you guys can be notified of our launch date. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back soon. Like always, peace and God bless.